Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is indeed an excellent day to serve an excellent God in and with the spirit of excellence. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good all of those things that you may find yourself, even if you are not here live, you are welcome in this space. All I ask, here's the price for being here: that you like, you share, you tag. That's the price of a mission. It does not mean it does not have value. It's just that I'm not placing a number on being here because I believe it is invaluable. What number would you give for all of this goodness that's over here? Good morning. Now, of course, like I said, it's free to you to be in this space, but there is a cost to me. And so, if by chance you are blessed by this, you can sow into my ministry, sow into this ministry that will allow me to keep studying, that would allow me to keep, you can see all the books that I have. You can make an investment so that I could keep it does cost for the restream and all of the different things that it takes to be here. But listen, I'm just so glad that you decided, that you think it not robbery to come to join me. So the price is that you like, share, and tag. Like, share, tag. Like, share, tag. Listen, again, this is Coach Sherry, Chaplain Sherry, your community pastor Sherry. This is Sherry from the 800 block of Mooney Avenue. That is the Reverend Dr. Sherry L. Brown Jackson, known in these streets and in the sanctuaries and in the spaces as the unmuted one. The unmuted one. And I want to personally affirm that your voice matters. I want to personally affirm that your voice matters. And when I talk about voice again, surely I'm talking about, the auditory, the sound that you make. But I'm expanding that to mean your total being. How you show up, your fullness, your wholeness, the way you make an imprint in this world, it matters. It matters. And so today, this morning, with our time together, I want to call what I am a holy reclaiming. We want to reclaim what many people have lost. We want to reclaim, right? Doing it over again. But what that means is that at one time you had it. When you were born, when you were born, you were whole. But somewhere along the line, people, places, and things began to chip away at that. And then you began to internalize and doubt who you are, why you are, how you are, and you gave up your voice. And so there's nothing more dangerous to systems of oppression than women, and particularly Black women who have found their voice. And not only finding it, But this time, declare that they will never lose it again. That they will never lose it again. So today, I don't want to, for this particular time together, I don't have a scripture. I don't have a scripture. I have a cartoon. Because we do know that God speaks through all things. And that the Bible is not the only place where God shows up. Now that's a teaching for another day. And I do have a class on the Bible and how it came to be and all of that kind of stuff. But this morning, today, I don't have a scripture. I have a cartoon. I have a cartoon, and as I begin to think about this, I don't remember a whole lot. Of course, I came up in a time where the cartoons were, Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner and all of those things. And I didn't pay much attention to the Cinderellas, the Snow Whites. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to that. But as I've gotten older, I've started to revisit some of those things that were cartoons, but they, kind of like made movies out of them. And so one of them is the Little Mermaid. So God is speaking through Ariel, the mermaid, to teach us something. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. When you come into this space, all I ask is that you greet me. Use your home training and say good morning and let me know that you are here again. I am Coach Sherry, Chaplain Sherry, your community pastor Sherry, the Reverend Dr. Sherry L. Brown Jackson, known in these streets, these sanctuaries, in these spaces as the Unmuted One. And I want to this morning, I want to personally affirm to you that your voice matters. Your voice matters. And I believe that Ariel, the mermaid, can help me push that. So there's this scene in the Little Mermaid where Ariel stands up before Ursula, desperate to enter a new world. She wants to explore a new world, but there's a cost. There is a cost. I want you to catch that. Before we move any further, I want you to catch that. The spaces and places you think you want to be in, and you may belong there, there is a cost. So Ursula says, you want legs? You want access? You want him? And here is, you can have all of that, but this is what you must give up. Ursula says, then give me your voice. And Ariel, naive, hopeful, and aching and desiring something more, whispers, but without my voice, how can I? And that right there is the question of the day. But without my voice, how can I? Because Ariel knows that giving up her voice is a high cost. Ariel knows that giving up her voice is too high of a cost. She has all the necessary information, internally and externally, that if she gives up her voice for legs, it is too high. But she pays it anyway. She pays it anyway. And so do we. We give up ourselves. We give up our authenticity. We give up our values. We give up our voice. We pay the price to be in certain places, to be in certain spaces, to be at the table. Let's go over the scene again. Ariel the mermaid wants a whole new world. She wants to come out of her environment. She wants to spread her wings. She wants to do the things. No doubt, she sees something and she thinks that the new world has more to offer to her. And Ursula says, have you counted the cost? Because here's what you need to know. If you give up, if you get the legs, you've got to give up your voice. Ariel, even in her innocence, even in her just seeing what she sees and thinks she wants, she knows that the price is too high. But she does it anyway. She pays the price. And so do many of us. We pay the price to be in places and spaces that we believe offers more. So here is the question. What have you traded your voice for? What have you traded your voice for? What have you given up yourself for? Is it acceptance in a church that only values your labor and not your leadership? Have you traded your voice for a promotion in a workplace where you must smile through microaggressions? What have you traded your voice for? What have you given up to have a seat at the table? Is it have you traded your voice for proximity, to be close to someone who only loves the toned down version of you? Have you traded your voice? Have you given up your voice for peace at home, where your boldness is labeled as disrespect? What have you given up your voice for? What have you traded your voice for? because we've all made trades. So this is no shade, not at all. I've had to be quiet in spaces, but I tell you, on the inside, it's tearing me up. So I know about that. Some of the times we've had to trade our voices is for survival mode. Some were trauma informed. Some were forced on us by systems that told us that good women don't speak too loudly, that holy women don't question leadership or question God, that wise women wait their turn. Here's what I want us to know. If it costs your voice, it's too expensive. If being in a place and a space at a table, if it costs your voice, it has cost you too much. It has cost you too much. And that's what I want to leave with us this morning. Using Ariel's scenario in The Mermaid. She goes to Ursula and she says, I want legs. Now, no doubt having those legs will allow her to go to places and to be in spaces that she could not be in just being in water, right? Having legs will allow her to explore places, people, and things. But what at cost? What's the cost? That's what I want to say. What is the cost? And what have you traded your voice for? Listen, that's all I got. I promise that's all I got, but I want to pick this back up tomorrow. I want to pick this back up because I think that there's more for us to say that we can learn. But right now, I want you to think about, what have you traded your voice for? Listen, that's all I got. May all be well with your day.